Hey guys, we're back on the testing world today, and I've got these elevators and dropper lines here, and they're for just like transporting items. But originally, the idea came from this. I was working with um, Cowboy 8625, my good friend from Clancraft, and we were working on a top secret project and decided that we needed to control the downward flow of some items. And normally you could just do some droppers, straight down if you wanted items to flow down. You put some items in and guess what, there they go. But we needed control over that, and one way that you can do that, we were playing around with it and I just discovered this little design here that it's just observers, and we can put a whole bunch of items in here, obviously, and they're going to fill this first dropper up. But if we give this one update, we're just going to come down here and have one item. So if you needed to control the flow of a downward drop, this is the best way to do it. Otherwise, you're going to have complicated clocks and timing systems having to release and unrelease the locking of this hopper here to allow one item at a time. But you could seriously just update this one time and it's going to come down to the bottom. So what it is droppers facing down, and if we look at this, the face of the observers is facing away from the dropper so that the power goes into the dropper. And then we have these droppers here, and they're all going downward. Sorry, that created the clock. But anyways, these droppers here are all, observers here are all powered downward. And so whichever direction the arrow faces on these observers, that one's not right, is how, yeah, there we go, is how the power source is going to go down. So you'd want the observer arrow facing down if you're going down, and this one's up, you're going to want it facing up. Now, the middle observer is what actually powers the dropper. So you're going to want that power source facing the dropper, and this line actually is just to update the middle line. So there you go. You can also do them facing that direction. Let's put an item in the dropper there, but yeah, so it's the same thing. These observers are going to face down into it, and then these are going to face whichever direction that you want to see the item go. And you should be able to, because of the way redstone works, you should be able to send this off into any distance that you want to send it off to. I haven't tested that, and it's going to take a while to do this. So maybe I'll cut back to it in a second. I'm just going to go a couple chunks out and see if we can fire this thing and end up getting items down on the other end. So, alright, well, we've extended this one past the loaded chunks, and we're going to give this thing a test. And I'm going to fire this thing twice and see if we end up with items on the other end. Alright, now let's fly down there. Let's let it finish. Let's fly down to the chunks here. Oh, we beat it. Let's try it again. One more time here. Let's just walk down there this time. Two items just like that, and we didn't even have to be here, so that's a pretty nifty way to transport items through unloaded chunks. So because that should be unloaded, it's out of render distance. Well, anyways, guys, there you have it today. This is I'm sure somebody's done this before, but it's something I've found is going to be very useful, and I hope it's useful to you and it's helpful to you. And if you did enjoy the video, you know, and you believe it deserves a like, go ahead and like the video for me. And otherwise, guys, I hope we see you next time.